Yeah, what is time? You see, it's such a relative thing. We measure motion. Aha, here we go. Now, thought is action. Okay? So, like I said last week, maybe this is still a good point, is that for me to walk from here to there, it takes a few seconds. And for me to walk from here to the end of the street might take 10 minutes. And then if I want to keep walking all the way out of Vancouver, all the way, it might take a few days. So, seconds, minutes, days have gone by. But really, it's motion of energy. It's movement. And then we say, but Burt, it turned dark and then it came the next day. Really? It was just the earth rotating around the sun, creating that change. It's just motion of energy. Nothing is ever happening. But then, don't we have biological change and the body is changing and aging? What about that? Yeah, we do have a biological clock that moves with change. You see? Did you know that the body is constantly recycling? We think it's the same body we had when we were a baby. That's a fallacy. The body is recycling. But why is it that we still think we are the teenager that we were or the baby that we were? Because we aren't. The body had recycled completely. Completely! But why is it that we still think we were that? Because of the awareness that never changed. You see? And I said, oh, I had those experiences and I had this and I was always here now. The body changed, but I was always here. You see? Time seemed to take place. Biological change, chronological change, and psychological change. Psychological change is that fallacy that we believe in a tomorrow. But show me tomorrow. There's only now. Only now. Even the logical mind will see this. Can there be other than now? No, it's not possible. There's only now. And now is timeless. You see? And it is through this process of inquiry that we come to that which is timeless and changeless. And the moment we come to that point, we are that changeless essence. We are changing all the time. The body. That which I seem to be is changing all the time. But I am. I just am. Forever. I do not die because I was never born. Now can you imagine the peace, the clarity, the beauty, the grace that will come when you finally wake up to the fact that you are an eternal being and not who you thought you were? And that's what it's about. Finding that changeless essence. You see? Once you know that very clearly, then it answers everything. Then every question that you hear is simply redundant, put forth by the mind to understand time, change, and everything, not realizing that time, change are simply motions of time, motions of thought, not awareness. You see, awareness is the only reality we have. The only reality. Your aware presence is only thing that is real. Can you imagine that? Just feel it out, please. You can be liberated tonight if you just get a glimpse of it. All you are is aware presence. Everything else is just thought. You see? Now when you begin to understand that, where is the fear? Where is the hesitation or deliberation or the choice or the decision or who's doing it or not doing it? See? You're free. Because you are this now, the eternal now, the unchanging now. And that's what everything is about. Religions don't teach it because most of them are not even aware of it. Philosophy, it hints of it. It gives you some semblance of it if you study the great philosophers, but it doesn't give you recognition. What gives you recognition when you look into yourself, when you look at the looker, in other words. I am looking, I am thinking, who is thinking, who is looking? You see? Self-recognition, you go back. And the witness can actually recognize itself. And it is that which, boom, there's an awakening, there's a transformation. You know? Here are some. Now, if I read you these, could you hear them from the perspective of what we talked about?
Could I just say something before?
Oh, yeah, please.
Something you said earlier reminded me of a quote I saw from one teacher in India. I don't remember which teacher, Punjaji or something.
Oh, yeah, Punjaji, yeah.
But it said, nothing ever happened. And
Yeah.
I found it almost scary. And
Yeah.
of course confusing, but then later I had, times when I was feeling clear and when I would understand what he meant.
Yeah.
But that's isn't that a strange thing to say?
No, you come to realize it yourself. For example, yesterday.
So to me, but nothing ever happened.
Well, yeah, but look all the things. Sit down and write your story. So many things have happened, right? I mean, you're a traveler now. You're experiencing life like never before, right? You sleep here, go there, you go there. This is a wonderful way to experience life. So now you write your story of what is happening. And so many things seem to be happening. Right? Okay, but when you look back at it, where are they? What's happened? It's just happenings. A lot of happenings. Do you understand?
But just memories.
Just memories, happenings.
Yeah.
But what's happened? You just look at it in the moment. The moment never changed. This now never budged. Not one iota had been altered. All that altered were the ideas, the emotions, the feelings, the experiences, the people outside that change all the time, constantly changing. But you have always been here, watching it all. You see? You've always been the watcher. And so nothing actually happened. And the moment, and that comes as a realization. Nothing actually happens. I'm reading a book about a woman who had so many addictions. But she had the grace of direct experience. Her name is Joan Tollefson, right? Yeah, good. You've heard of her? Yeah. And she had nail biting, she had drugs, she had alcohol problems, she even lived in the street, she had different things. But for one reason or other, she had the grace, the ability to look at what is happening. And that very grace of looking liberated her until she began to see nothing is happening. You see? And she became free. That's, she's awakened now. She's a liberated woman.
Can you explain what you meant just now when you said direct experience?
Okay, direct experience. At one point, she went to Chicago, and it was her first experience of the cold of Chicago, and she was in her apartment. And it was very, very cold, and she didn't have any heating, and she developed a cold, and she started coughing, and she developed a fever, etc., etc. Anyway, she felt that she was going to die. She was all alone. She didn't know anybody. And so there is this fear, I'm going to die and nobody will notice, blah, 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 blah. So it says, go on. And anyway, she sat in the chair, and this grace of awareness came to her. All of a sudden, I am resisting this fear that I'm going to die, that this is happening. I'm so weak. I could be dying now. And then a part of her said, so what if I die? So what? Like a part of her was this awareness. This doesn't happen very often usually because people resist. But she had that grace come to her, and she said, well, what if I die now? So what's the big deal, you see? And she looked at it. And she looked at her fear, she looked at her resistance, she looked at this fighting and struggle that she was doing, and all of a sudden she felt okay. She went to bed, she had a good night's sleep, the next day she was fine. You see? There's this enormous thing, but slowly, and this happened again when she had other addictions, and slowly she kept looking into these things, becoming aware, more and more and more aware of what is happening. And she awakened. And now she says very clearly, nothing ever happened.